I don't know about you, but I love Thursday Night Football. Last week on this channel, we gave you the Bengals team total over. We gave you Jamar Chase over receiving yards. We also gave you DK Metcalf somewhat controversially, and that didn't hit. But we were 5-2 overall with all our NFL free picks on this channel. And this week, we're talking about the Minnesota Vikings at the LA Chargers, Thursday Night Football. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite, and the total sits at 44.5. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite. I'm wondering if the bookmakers saw the Chargers play the Colts last week. Minnesota comes in 3-3, 3-3 against the spread. They've won 2 of their 3 road games. They're off a 28-22 home loss to Philadelphia. That one particularly stung for me and my clients. We had Minnesota +2 in that game. And of course, there was the controversial reverse touchdown to TJ Hawkinson, where the refs on the field called it a touchdown. They told Hawkinson they called it a touchdown, but a call came in from New York to reverse it. I saw the replay. It was inconclusive in my opinion, so should have stuck with ruling on the field in my opinion, but write down my opinion on a piece of toilet paper, I guess. Minnesota outgained Philadelphia 387-361 in total yards. They had an edge, 21-13 in first downs, but Carson Wentz threw a pair of interceptions. They lost the turnover battle. It wasn't that they couldn't hang with Philly. I mean, it was a game that they should have been right there. You got the overturned touchdown. You got the turnovers. It is what it is. This happens every week in the NFL. That's why we play the game. We love it. It sucks when it goes against you, but it's been going for me more than against me this season, so I can't complain despite having a bit of a rough week with the client plays last week. The Vikings rank 7th in the NFL in passing defense. They're only allowing 184 yards per game. They've got an average run defense. They allow 4.2 yards per carry and 118 yards per game. But how does that match up for the Los Angeles Chargers? Can they take advantage of an average run defense for the Vikings? Well, before we talk about the Chargers, I got to tell you about a promotion we have available right now at wagertalk.com, the good old Weekend Warrior. And if you followed my videos, you'll be familiar with the Weekend Warrior. You get all day Saturday, all day Sunday, NFL and college football. We'll even throw in Monday Night Football, only $49. As I mentioned, I'm coming off of a bit of a rough week in the NFL. We're hitting 80% the last 2 weeks in college, though. And my NFL for the season, dating back to the beginning of last year's playoffs, still hitting at a crisp 67%. 67% ain't bad, folks. If I finish the season above 60%, I'm going to be extremely happy with that. And you should be too. As always, no purchase necessary. You're more than welcome to tune in just for the free picks. The only thing I ask from you is that you take the time to smash that like button. And if you've got anything to say about this game or any other game on Sunday or any college football games, or if you just want to tell me you don't like the way I look, you might think that's funny, but some people do that. Feel free to hit me up in the comments. I do like to engage with the viewers, and I will respond. And let's have a look at what the people are saying this week. I always get a ton of interesting comments, and I do like to share them. We have Goldmine saying, great picks. Didn't you have Metcalf over yards and receptions too? Or maybe that was just a lean. Anyway, love the content and info. Now, what he's referring to is I had said in a few videos and shows I was on that I swept the board with Thursday Night Football. And he's calling me out, very, very friendly call out there, that I did mention DK Metcalf. I went back, I looked at the tape. I was talking about Metcalf, and at the end of the video, the text said wide receiver props. So I certainly have to own that. There's no question. I indicated that I would be on DK Metcalf as well. So when I gave my overall numbers 5-2 last week, I did count that DK Metcalf loss in those numbers. And I appreciate him bringing it to my attention because I want to be as accurate as I possibly can. And this helps me do that. So if you ever catch me up saying something that's incorrect, please feel free to correct me as so many of you tend to do, even when I'm still correct. But I appreciate nonetheless. All comments are good comments. But this comment's a little bit better. These comments are better. Best guys on Wager Talk in no order: Steve Merrill, Jesse Schule, Ross Benjamin, Ralph Michaels, Brian Power. And I'm sure I speak for all the guys when we say we appreciate that very much. Very diplomatic of you to say in no order. If it was in order, I'd be number 2 to Steve Merrill. Anyways, that's not important. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you very much for that. Let's get back into this Thursday night football game. The Chargers, 4-3, 2-4-1 against the spread, just 2-2 at home, and off an ugly 38-24 loss to the Colts. Both their left tackle and right tackle have been out of the lineup. They're down to their third string running back, they're down to third and fourth string running backs, and one of those guys is hurt. So basically their running game is made up of guys they picked up off the scrap heap, names you wouldn't recognize, not high draft picks. And that's a bit of a problem for the Chargers, because I mentioned how they match up against the Minnesota Vikings defense, the 7th ranked pass defense, allowing 184 yards per game. And they're going to have to pass it against the Vikings, you would think, with a banged up offensive line and running backs they picked up off the scrap heap. So, and Justin Herbert, he's got picked off a couple times last week. It looks like a recipe for disaster to me. And when I saw the line -3, I said to myself, did they watch them play the Colts last week? And I mean, this Chargers team has been picking up significant injuries on the offensive line and at key positions. And you had to think it was only a matter of time before it caught up with them. And it certainly caught up with them last week. And this does not look like a good spot for the Chargers to me. The Chargers have the 28th ranked run defense. They allow opposing running backs to average 5.1 yards per carry and 124 yards per game. I like Jordan Mason's rushing yards prop. It hasn't been posted yet, but my official plays for this game will include the anytime touchdown for Jordan Mason. I also like Justin Herbert over half an interception, or just Justin Herbert to throw an interception. That's priced around -130. And when you look at the interception here, you got the Vikings with one of the better pass defenses in the league. You look at their interceptions this season, they only have 2 interceptions. They rank near the bottom of the NFL in picks. Well, guess what they did last year? They led the year in picks with 24 interceptions on the season. So are they due? I mean, I think the fact that they led the NFL in picks last year is an indication that they might be due. And with Herbert being forced to pass against a very strong pass defense that's very successful at blitzing opposing quarterbacks, I think there's a good chance that Herbert is forced into throwing a pick here. And additionally, I will take the Vikings plus the points. So the plays are Minnesota +3, Herbert interception -130, and Jordan Mason anytime touchdown. By the way, the backup running back's banged up for the Vikings, which could lead to even more work for Jordan Mason. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you've got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, you hit me up in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can.